when I was auditioning, one of the professors said the hi-hat. So this is traditional way.
Hmm. Yeah.
Very very traditional way. But contemporary swing, you don't really keep that consistent like that. So it's more like
Hmm.
um, I started playing drums at the age of 10. I was born in Korea, Seoul, Korea, and back when I was playing drums at the age of 10, no one was actually playing any drums, right? Everybody was playing piano a little bit, but not so much drums. But my parents got me playing, drums. Hey, why don't you learn? There's a drummer that they know. So they recommended or suggested taking a lessons, and I started it. It wasn't fun at that time. I just did out of obligation. But later on, I went to junior high, just because I knew how to play drums. I was playing. There was like a school festival, like a seniors wanted to arrange, and then they knew that I could play drums, and then some of them were into like Japanese rock music at that time, like X Japan, stuff like that. So they asked me to play in a band, and I joined. And as I started playing with them, like the music kind of grew into me, and I started feeling that this is fun, and I want to do it better, right? So I listened to a lot of music, did a lot of research. Well, back then, internet wasn't that well um, laid out too, right? You know how old I am, right? Guess how old I am. But I used dial up in order to search, other stuff. And yeah, I started to pursue and got into music school, and got a chance to play and meet other musicians. And yeah, that's my background. And I grew up in a church, so play in church a lot. A lot of times I got to play with praise team, worship team, conferences, and weekly services, stuff like that. Yeah, I went to well back. Well, so I met Jonathan in Berkeley College of Music in Boston.
Oh,
That's when I
actually, you and Jonathan didn't know each other before the college.
no, no, no.
Oh.
So I went to Musicians Institute in Los Angeles
Hmm.
in 2013 when no, 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 sorry, 2005.
Thou-
Was it? Sorry, 2003.
2003.
2003
You
when
went
I
to.
graduated when I graduated high school. Right after I graduated, I went to Musicians Institute in Los
Hmm.
Angeles, and then I graduated there. Came back to Vancouver, doing some of my stuff in Vancouver. And 2010, I went to Berklee College of Music
Hmm.
to pursue music production major.
Hmm.
So that's when I first met Jonathan there. We
Ah,
didn't know we didn't know each other before. That's when
I
I
see.
first met him.
But
Yeah.
project together back there.
Like when so my friend from MI Musicians Institute. He was in Boston. He was going to Berkeley at that time, and he was friend with Jonathan.
Mm.
So he knew that I was coming to Boston. So they had a church retreat at that time. So he kind of told me, hey, our original drummer graduated and they're going back to Korea.
Mm.
So I know you're coming. So why don't you join our praise team and go to retreat together? Just play drum there. That's why, Jonathan was the bassist at that time. So
Ah, I see.
that's how we got hooked up. Yeah. And I fell in love with Jonathan's playing and,
Yeah. How sweet he played.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just fell in love with him, right? Like,
Mm.
yeah.
I see that.
So
Yeah.
still one of my favorite bass players. So
So, moving on to the next question. So, you have a background of music from college. So, we're talking here about an exact theory of what someone from college got. You know what I mean? And now I was curious, like, what makes a difference for drummers to play jazz music and any other genre?
well, I had to learn it too, right? Because I grew up in Korea. Of course, jazz, along with pop and rock music. As a foreigner, as a
Mm.
Korean, um, I was living in that culture. I had to
Mm.
learn those stuff. Obviously, pop music during my time in Korea was also heavily influenced by Western music
Yeah.
and Japanese at the time, because they were leading the culture at the time, right?
Mm.
But I wanted to learn properly. So let's say if I like this type of music, I started listening like Metallica, Dream Theater, right? And then I wanted to find out what these musicians first started, how they first started out,
Mm.
who was their influence by, right? So I went up the tree, basically, and then it all began with like jazz musicians, right?
Yeah.
And the Western music, the pop culture, jazz, contemporary music that I was interested in, it was based on those jazz, pillars.
Mm.
So I got into those type of things, and so I had to learn, right? I had to learn the languages. I had to learn the essence, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to just kind of copy. I wanted to get to the core in that, right?
Yeah.
So just to answer the question, difference between um, jazz or the other, um, I guess pop, I should say,
Yeah.
is I think it's language.
It's a
Um,
language.
cer- Certain languages are being used in jazz music, and the approach you take to speak that language is different,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
When you play jazz, and if you, in terms of drumming, it's a little bit different because it's a physical thing, drum, right?
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people started playing drums with just it's very easy because they're accustomed to it. They're very familiar with the beats, so they somehow, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
jazz, it's ding 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 ding. They wouldn't know what to do with the left hand. They wouldn't know what to do with the right. Also with the left foot,
Mm.
there's some coordination happening. So first, jazz drumming, it starts with very physical aspect.
Yeah.
You need to get down those physics, like all four limbs have to work together, and then you get into those language, what they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
If you can get your hands and feet going properly, then you can't express. If you don't know grammar, you can't really
Hmm.
construct a nice English, right? So you gotta first get into those habit of moving freely on drum kit.
Hmm.
So playing a lot of patterns, a lot of independence, coordinations, techniques, and then you listen to the music. Try to be familiar with the language they speak,
Yeah.
and then you kind of imitate, and then make it comfortable.
I
That's
see.
how I learned jazz. Yeah,
So,
jazz drumming
s-
per se. Yep.
so basically, it's like talking a different language compared to the other genre. You say that.
Yeah, because jazz was totally different than
Hmm.
rock.
Yeah, but what?
Um, mhm.
But what about the equipment? Is it any kind of specific equipment or gears for specific jazz music? It's like a particular cymbal or the certain stick drums or
Well,
snares.
yeah, jazz. You gotta have. Well, jazz is all about like ride cymbal,
Right.
right? Ride cymbal is gotta be very prominent, and it has to speak, you know, by
Mm.
itself. So you
Yeah.
gotta have the right, decent ride cymbal that can express your, you know, voice,
Yeah.
right? And then jazz, not so much drums, larger drums. So what I have right now is sort of a jazz setting with a smaller kick drum and a
Mm.
lot of a boomy kind of a, tone, kind of open tone and high pitched drums, so that we're going for a voice on each drums rather than drums like attack and kind of a tone, like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which can be utilized in the pop or funk music. You gotta have that thought on the kick drum, right? But
Mm.
jazz music more like it's like a voice,
Yeah.
right, on drums.
It's like.
Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah, it's like singing on the drums,
Yeah.
right? You get the tone out of the drums, and the higher pitch projects well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And can you please? Is it possible if for you to demonstrate like a standard beat for traditional jazz, or someone people might say that when they hear a drumming and then spontaneously called it, oh, it's a jazz beat, sort something like that.
Yeah, traditional jazz is swing beat.
Mm.
I would say first start on ride cymbal. So you might have heard. That's the key, and then supplement that with the hi hat on 2 and 4. So
2 and 4.
then snare drum and the kick drum kind of complement and kind of embellish, here and there. So then later, if you want to like develop some story, you accent here and there.
Hmm.
And here's the language part. If you want to play jazz, but if you were playing like this, it sounds like very heavily laying on the one. It doesn't really give you that swing feel, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't give you so much that those upbeat, right?
Hmm.
It's very heavily laid down on the beat one. It's more like a pop or rock feel. So not only playing the swing, but you gotta know where to accent. Uh, they would say cohesive with the style, right? You gotta be in context with the genres of music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, actually, I never had a course or any kind of small course or short course of drumming, but all I know is just playing drums with the right hand, left hand, and feet correctly. Just that, and I don't know a particular beat for what kind of that. But I have heard before, like for the swing is the hi hat is on the 2 and 4, and that's what I've heard before, and yeah, turns out
so
it's correct
yeah,
since I validated
I've
from you.
heard I've heard so that's like a traditional way, right? But when I got a chance to audition for New England Conservatory, which Jonathan also graduated.
I'm sorry, Jay. Can you please
Yeah.
talk more closer to the microphone of yours?
No, this is just for recording.
Oh,
So
but I don't know why.
actually, right now, the monitor is picking up the sound right now.
I think your
But
voice
but
is
my voice is
ah.
being recorded right now
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
on the Pro Tools. So um, when I was auditioning, one of the professors said the hi hat. So this is traditional way.
Hmm. Yeah.
Very traditional way. But contemporary swing, you don't really keep that consistent like that. So it's more like
Hmm.
what I mean. Like it has its own voice too. It has its own way of saying, "Hey, here I am. Like I want to say something too." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this can be utilized another way too. So that's more of a contemporary, I guess, swing beat.
Hmm.
And obviously contemporary jazz these days, you know, like Robert Glasper or some kind of music. Like it's not jazz, but more of a ting 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 ting, you know,
Hmm.
depending on the types of music they play. So
So it's
yeah.
another different. I think that's explain the exact characteristic of jazz drumming. So about the gears of drums itself, the right cymbals is gonna be the character, the unique of jazz language for drumming. But for the audio mixing peripherals like microphone or where do we need to put the microphone, it's like miking some kind of it. And about that stuff, is there any particular equipment for that? And also for the audio interface, I guess everything's just similar, or is there any particular audio interface you think?
You talking about like jazz setting or in general?
Uh, for drummers.
Oh, so drum recording in general.
Yeah.
So for drummers, now it's so popular. You know, everyone can get, you know, like decent audio interfaces for a very reasonable price
Hmm.
at anywhere Amazon, eBay, Reverb, right? Um, for drummers, because a lot of instruments are there, we prefer getting a channel audio interface.
Hmm.
Because for drummers, the more channel, the better it is for them to try out things.
Mm-hmm.
But if your budget is tight, it's always doable with only one microphone. Even if you don't have audio interface, you can use like a Zoom recorder these days. You know what it is, right?
Yeah.
A nice handheld recorder has sometimes XY microphones figure. Like these days, there are a lot of stuff out there. If you have an iPad, iPhone, there's a what's it called, iRig or something, a little dongle that makes you record, just on the go. You can use single mic, you can use stereo mic, you can use three mics, four mics, five, six, seven, eight, sometimes 16. I used to have like 24 mics set up before.
Mm.
Try to utilize all those different mics in a different place, but sometimes less is better and less is more.
What?
I I really enjoy using three mics,
Mm.
right? It's called recorder man mic technique. So there's a king mic, one overhead right above the snare drum,
Yeah.
and then another overhead by the floor tom, like facing you, like that way.
Yeah.
It gives you a really nice balanced sound, but that's only three microphones, right?
Mm.
And more microphones, can cause more phase issues, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to get drum sound right in the right way, right? So depending on the situation, whether you have one mic or you have more mics, there are always way around with it. You can always get a great microphone depending on your your situation.
Okay. Uh, for someone who wants to start record their drumming, so the first thing they need to take or to get is the microphone itself, and then the audio interface, or the audio interface first, and using the
Well,
public studio microphone.
so if you want to get audio interface by itself does nothing, right?
Yeah.
So audio interface has to work with microphone. So I would suggest buy both altogether. And with just a microphone, you can't really get it to work, right? You just need some kind of preamp in order to power that mic into the DAW, iPad, or computer, right? So that's why I mentioned Zoom audio recorder. It does its own job, right, by itself. Yeah, if you are just starting out, I would even suggest try record yourself. Get familiar with recording yourself with even phone too,
Mm.
so that you exactly know what you're going for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of just go and buy stuff and then wouldn't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Do a lot of research. There are a lot of YouTube videos and Google pages, explaining budget recording setup, right?
Yeah.
But whatever you get, what I'm saying is there are things to do, right? There are answers for each setup.
Okay, so that's explained a lot about the drummers who want to record their own playing. What should they care about, and what should they where do this should start? I'm so sorry. I just talking not good actually lately. So this is explaining for drummers who want to start to record their playing. Yeah, that's stuff. Okay, moving on to the last topic of ours. We have a short kind of online project called Cross Country
Oh yeah.
Experience.
my favorite band.
Wow. And here comes my favorite drummers.
Oh, I did not know. You know,
And
I dressed just like our video. I always wore this pants when I recorded.
yeah.
During this is my pandemic outlook. So
so, so you have your own outfit
yeah,
for a
cause
season
no,
of.
cause I'm home all the time. So yeah.
Okay, so we just worked for about. So it's nearly 2 years actually, yeah, since the first video of ours. The yellow jacket is the
Yeah,
first one,
yeah,
and then we made another video, and I'm trying to put the videos to the live ambience on International Jazz Day event on 2021 and 2022 on the Cirebon, Indonesia.
yeah.
But to be honest, I still didn't get what I trying to plan to do at that
Hmm.
time, because there's a lot of limitation from the venue and limitation from the budget, to be honest, for the sound
Right,
rent.
right.
So, but talking about the struggles of our, what is that we called, our recording session for you especially. What do you know? Not do you know? Do you even encounter some problems, or
Well,
which
yeah.
songs actually the most interesting to you?
Um, I knew about the Yellow Jacket by Sean Martin. But it was my first time actually listening to the song
Mm.
and try to do it.
Yeah.
So it's always good to like listen to all those different music that you brought and you
Mm.
arranged. Especially Walking the Bass, I liked it. September, it's done at a Berkeley, right? The
Yeah.
arrangement,
Yeah.
yeah. So and other music, I can't pronounce the name. That kind of
The
song.
Indonesians.
That's right. I really like that. It kind of grew into me.
Mm-hmm.
And da, 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 da.
Yeah.
See, I remember all that song. So I really like those. So it was a good opportunity.
Mm.
But the challenge is because we're not in the same place, you send me piano kind of a demo or template.
Yeah.
I have to play on my own by myself without knowing that how this will turn out at the end.
Yeah.
So I play on my own. It was very dry. So I'm just playing on my own, trying to, keep the form and the section that you let me know.
Mm.
And by the time I see the final result, like it's very like, oh, I could have done that. I would have done that. Like
Yeah.
if Jonathan's playing a little section, oh, I would have matched that playing if I knew that. Because Jonathan and I, when we were playing together in the States, when we were back in the days, we always like try to hit the sections together and having an eye contact. Hey, why don't we do that? And you know that was fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this time, like I had to play on my own and then send the track to the Jonathan, and then he kind of played on his own. So that was a challenge for me.
Mm.
So yeah, so playing with other, we basically play with others, but not play with others, basically, right?
Yeah.
We play it on our own. So
Because you just the it's actually just the song parts guide. So where the chorus
yeah,
started, where the verse started.
yeah,
Basically, it's just like that. And after you put your drums, everything is changing. So that's where I started to put another instruments.
yeah. And we did it again because I wanted to do it again for the jazz day, right?
Mm.
Because of that reason, like I wanted to, after listening to the older version, the first version of the songs,
Yeah.
as I was listening, oh maybe I want to try that. So
Yeah.
that's why I told you I want to do it again,
Yeah.
and the sound too. I want to bring another sound to the song and the feel of the whole band, right?
Yeah. I see.
Yeah.
So, well, basically, if I'm gonna try audio, I never had any problems from your stamps. It's like perfect for everything you sent to me, to be honest, and that's fun.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's all from us. That's all from me and from Jaeyoon.
Yeah.
Since it's a shame that my Zoom isn't a pro version, so we still have 2 minutes left.
Oh yeah. Two. Plenty.
Okay, so if you guys have any question you want to talk to us, you can leave it down below on the comment section, and maybe I can forward it to Jay, and someday he would answer your question. Okay,
Yeah.
so thank you so much, Jay,
Thank you.
for this experience. Another experience we had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, have a good day or good night, I suppose.
All right.
Thanks, Jay. See you
Yeah.
later.
All right, man. See you. Bye.
Bye.